Okay, so you want to buy a house in Cape Coral on a saltwater canal. And maybe wondering what's it like to actually go down one of the canals. So I'm going to show you that yesterday was New Year's Day, and a couple of buddies of mine decided to take one of the boats out and go out fishing or down towards Sanibel. So I'll show you where we started. And it took us about 35-40 minutes to get to the location. But basically we started right here, and we came all the way down this canal, and then we ended up down here. We actually concluded our fishing trip right into here. So we came up this way, came up through the canal, and so that took about 35-40 minutes, which isn't too bad. It goes through different named canals. I think Marauder's one, Gloriana's another. I can't remember what the third one is. But that's what I'm going to show you in a series of videos of what it's like going down an actual canal. I explain some of the things about the canals themselves, and a little bit about the property that we passed as well. I'd also like to show you something in regards to how we used the channel and came across that. One of the, so let me show you that. There is a program you can download called Navionics. So you don't have an actual instrument or device like GPS that tells you what the water situation is, where the low water is, depth, that sort of thing. Navionics is a good thing to use. But one thing you can do is you have the ability actually to cross a section of water at certain times of the day. That's a little bit of access getting into where we're heading. Let me show you where that was before I show you this picture and explain it. So this is what Navionics shows on your device. So we would come out the main canal here, and then you'd follow the channel and you would take it round into the river, because this is the river right here. However, at certain times of the day, depending on where the height of the water, so it's low tide, high tide, you can actually come across right here. But the water can be pretty low, so you have to look at how much clearance you have, how much draft you have on your boat, what time of day it is. We're in a pontoon boat, so even though the tide was relatively low, we just basically came right across this without any issues at all. Now going back, the tide had come in, so as you'll see in the picture I just showed, we'll go back to there, you can actually see pretty much everybody's going across that one location. So rather than basically following out this way, come the channel, and then coming out this way, they were basically shooting right up into this area here. So let me show you that again. So this is a picture I took. So this is down towards Tarpon Point. Just see one of the high rises right here, and this is where the Western Marina is. But normally there's a channel marker, or there are channel markers that follow this line of trees, and then they'll swoop down this way and get to the river. But as I said, you can actually, depending on what time of day it is, what sort of boat you have, as these boats were doing here, instead of following the channel around, they were just cutting right across. And that just saves some time, probably a good 10 minutes doing it that way. So again, if I show you that. So what I'm talking about was this area right here. So normally what you do is you come up the channel, follow it, and go that way. However, again, from where the river's at, you can actually just go straight up. But again, you've got to make sure your boat has a low enough draft that it can handle that. And also you've got to look at the tides, what time of day it is, where the tide's at. But if it is high tide, pretty much everybody will do that, will motor across it, because you're not going at high speed anyway. But that's just something to keep in mind. So on the first video, I'm going to show you going from my buddy's house down the canal. We go under the bridge, which is the Cape Coral Parkway Bridge. That's 10.25 feet in mean high tide. Then the other side becomes sailboat access. Unfortunately, when I took the video on the other side, I thought I was taking video, but I was not. So I have us coming back into it. But I'll show you some other areas as well, where we go through what's called the Miserable Mile, which is a mile of no wake zone. But it doesn't actually take that long from where we're at to get out to where we're fishing. Unfortunately, it wasn't a really good day for fishing. The weather was beautiful, though, but we didn't catch anything based on the tides, the moon, that sort of thing. But heck, he hadn't taken his boat out in a while, and he wanted to take it out, so we decided, let's go out and see what we can do. But let me show in this next video what happened. So this is one of the saltwater canals in southwest Cape Coral. You can see in the distance there's a bridge that we're going to go under. That is Cape Coral Parkway. It is 10.25 feet high. The canal here is probably about maybe 100 foot wide. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of docks. A lot of people who like to have a boat down here, obviously. And this is pretty good access to the river. You can see way in the distance, Tarpon Point. We're going to go out that way. Now, just on these canals here, on the boat docks, they can go up to 30 feet maximum width, or 30% the width of the canal. So if you're on an 80 foot wide canal, you're about 24 feet. If you're 100 feet, then you're basically 30 feet, but that is your maximum. Now, we're not direct access here. So we are behind a bridge, as I said, and we're going to go under that in a couple of minutes, and we'll see how long it takes to go out. We are going out towards Sanibel today. We're going to go fishing. We're going to go after some trout. House prices do vary quite a bit based on whether they're behind a bridge or not, and how fast your access is to the river. But on this side, you can actually spend on a new home probably $1.5 million, definitely over $1 million anyway. Houses here probably looking at 700 grand plus is my guess, depending on the age, size, and if it's pool or not. But obviously all that stuff can change based on river access, things like that. But today is a pretty nice day. Today is January the 1st, 2024. It's around noon. We are going out at low tide, but the tide will start going up. But you'll get a minute, you'll see how long it takes to go out. But you'll definitely see the closer we get down towards Tarpon Point and towards runners, the style of houses, the value of the houses does change quite a bit. So now we're coming up to condos on the left hand side. So these condos here will have a common dock. So this particular one doesn't have where you can have an assigned boat lift. But as you can see on the left side here, there's actually quite a lot of space. So there's plenty of room for a boat. You just wouldn't keep it out all year round. You may do that if you live here permanently, but if you're in the winter time or certain times of the year, you'd have to store your boat outside at that location here. But as I said, we are pretty much a straight shot to the river from here. We just passed the Lake Finisterre was just behind me. This is one of the side canals that come in on the right, as you can see right here. So it does get pretty wide in this spot. Now your canals are generally dug 5 foot at center, so you aren't going to be able to have a super huge boat out here. But what you see here is fairly typical what you're going to see when you're behind a bridge, because I said you got a 10.25 bridge you have to clear. So obviously if you got a boat that's over that clearance, it's not going to work for this. So you think you'll look at the width of the boat too here. Obviously you've got super wide, it's not going to fit under this bridge, but the boats that you see here aren't any issues with that. It's not like a water super deep anyway, it's generally not particularly deep. So you can't have a super boat, big boat. But once we do go through this bridge right here and go through the tunnel, basically, you will find that you run into sailboats, bigger boats, that sort of thing, because they don't have a bridge they have to clear. So the one that we're going over right now is Cape Coral Parkway. So there is a main east and west route. So if you go east, that will take you down through the downtown area, take you under the bridge. So as you can see, that our style of boat has changed. You got a fairly good sized cabin cruiser right here. Now he obviously won't be able to go into the bridge, so he will have to be on this side as well. Now these particular canals are not no wake zone. Some people think they are, but it's not. They're called slow speed zones. So obviously it's whatever you do, speed is what you need to keep your boat and be able to keep decent control of it. Obviously, we're not a whole lot of boats out today, which is a little bit surprising because New Year's Day, generally it's fairly active and the weather's really nice. It's relatively calm, which is good. But as I said, now we are direct access homes. There actually is a very large yacht that sits here on the left, but it's obviously not here today. It's probably one of the biggest ones that we have in the area, but he is not in right now. So, but it's a good sized boat. But the closer I get to Tarpon Point, which is actually what I'm looking at right, yeah, it's Tarpon Points we're looking at. Those are the high rises of the Tarpon Point. And the closer I get to that, and better access I get to the river, you'll find that again that the houses will change. They'll definitely get bigger, they'll get newer and stuff. Now as you can see coming down on the right here, obviously we're still seeing some damage from some homes here due to the hurricane, like the one I just passed on the right. But pretty much everything is back to where it was in here. But here you've got a sailboat here on the right hand side. Now again, he won't clear the bridge that we just went under. So obviously he needs what we call sailboat access, direct access. And this is some intersecting canals that come in. And all these canals at this point are going to be direct access here going out. But it's definitely a nice ride. Somebody's fishing. See them doing that. Got a line in the water. So we are out on the river right now. We're going towards Sanibel. I said this today is January the 1st, 2024. It's around noontime. So quite a nice day today, as you can see. A fair amount of people are going to be out in the water as well, taking advantage of that. So if I swing round, the river itself is a mile wide. It's called the Caloosahatchee, which is named after the Calusa Indians that lived in here probably up till 1600s, when they were pretty much wiped out either by disease or war. But Hatchie actually is Indian for river, so it's a Calusa River. And there was evidence of shell mounds. You can find them if you're out to Pine Island, and they're called Pineland. They think that was one of the major bases of the Calusa Indians that existed. The water is very important to them. They fished on it. They actually produced canals as well, and I think there was a canal down towards Naples that actually ran the length of the state that connected one side to the other. It obviously no longer exists anymore, but it was there at one time. So if I swing to the left, you can see in the distance Fort Myers right there. Okay, so we're out in the river. This is Picnic Island to our left right here. Over a distance you can see the bridge at Sanibel, and then over to our right is Sanibel itself. is a nice day today. A lot of people do like to picnic at Picnic Island. It's one of the smaller barrier islands between Sanibel and Cape Coral, where it's pretty popular. Water here is pretty shallow. We're in a couple of feet of water, so you got to be really careful what you're doing. But as I said, you can see Sanibel over in the distance right there. But we're going to try fishing out here. So we are coming back in. We've been out on the river. We're going back past Cape Harbor, which is the twin buildings you see in front of you. And these guys here on the right are some of the new homes. One being built right now, you can see to the right. So this is one of the main feeder canals that runs from the southwest part of the Cape. In fact, we came down the canal system this morning, or late this morning anyway, and went under the bridge, and now we're coming back. But everything in this location is considered direct access on here. So what that means is that there is no bridge to go under, so your price of your houses are considerably higher, and you can have a much bigger boat as well. So that's where we're coming in right now. I said right in front of you is Cape Harbor. If we took the channel to the left, we would end up where the boat lock is. Now there's a chance that boat lock is going to come out. There's been a lot of discussion about that, and the federal government or whatever had a discussion about it. I just looked at the pros and cons of it. So that happened over the last couple of weeks, but it's been rumored for the last couple of years that it's going to come out. But right now it doesn't even work. Hurricane Ian damaged it, and it's not worked ever since, so it's just open basically. So here's a really nice house here on the right coming up. Big place. This was built in the last 2 years, as I remember. So the boat that's swung to our left, they are going to go through the boat lock. You can't see it from here, but it's just about level with the two towers over there on the left hand side. And Rum Runners, and maybe go in the restaurant too. Rum Runners is right around the corner. So if I go left and follow that channel around, I'll eventually hit Rum Runners, which is a pretty popular restaurant down here. There's other restaurants in that same area as well, and they do bike nights and things like that. But the houses, as I said, on this side will run you a couple $1 million on the new stuff. One in front of you, the towers to the right, that is Tarpon Point. The Marina and Western Hotel is there as well. These boats have some quite big motors on. It's got 1,000 worth of 1,000 horsepower on that one. So right in front of us is a vacant lot that looks like PGI Homes is getting ready to build on that lot. I've probably paid $1 million just for the lot on its own. So the land here, because of the access to the river, the water, has quite high value to it. And there's a house that looks like just got finished. To the front of us, it looks like it's getting a new roof, maybe because of Hurricane Ian.
But they were she's 2 hours away from the tsunami, like Fox. Yeah.
So now we're going to go up the main feeder. As I said.
Not in that area. So I think that was the big fear.
Another nice house right there.
Possibly another earthquake.
Towboat USA coming down here. If you're going to get a boat, I would recommend that you belong to one of the boat places, Towboat USA and others. So if by some chance you do have a breakdown, you are covered, because it is not cheap to have somebody to tow you. So that is just some of the canals that we have here in Cape Coral. This is an interesting house to the left here. Not your typical look that you see.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go. But no, I'm not going to get excited about it.
Just enjoy the boat ride. It's a nice day today, as I said. Today is actually January the 1st, New Year's Day. So this is what you can do in the wintertime down here, is enjoy the water and go out and have a fun time and go fish, and or just boat around the islands, or go some of the restaurants have access to the water and stuff. These guys are out here fishing on the left. You do get some larger boats on the direct access canals, because you're not limited by bridge height, because the bridge that we're going to go under is 10.25 feet. So anything over 10.5 feet is not going to clear that bridge. The thing you have to consider too is the width of the boat as well that you've got too. So we're going to hang a left. We've got somebody coming in behind us. Now, these canals are not no wake zone, they are slow speed zones. Alright, so we're going back up the canal. You can see the bridge in the distance we're going to go under. So as I said, this side is direct access, no bridge. So if you're looking to buy a house, the house will be more money on this side. But you can still, behind the bridge, you can still spend on a new home $1 million plus. But the value of the land is higher on this side of the bridge because of the access. So this is what we considered direct access, no bridge, sailboat access. As a reminder, the canals here, people believe that they are no wake zones. That is not correct. They are slow speed zones. So there's whatever's the minimum amount you needed to maintain control of your boat, and that's going to vary from one boat to another based on size and speed, more size of it and stuff. So, but they are not no wake zones, they are slow speed zones. So there is a difference in that. Definitely a nice day for January the 1st, 2024. And we are out on the water enjoying the weather. Nice day, a little bit of clouds, but still plenty of blue sky. Temperature in the low 70s, lows are high 70s. Our lows have been in the upper 50s, so we're all kind of cold in the morning, all wrapped up like we're freezing. But by mid-afternoon, late morning, afternoon, it's very pleasant. And that's said one thing that's nice about this time of year. And that's the reason why people do tend to come down here in the winter time. You'll find that our restaurants are a lot bigger, a lot busier. So restaurants are a lot busier, as are the roads are busier. There's more people down here, and it's because of the weather, as you would expect. There's a house coming up on the right here. My not this first one you see, but just around the corner. There's normally a big yacht that sits right there, but it's not there right now. But it's probably one of the biggest ones that we have in the area. It's pretty good size. Now again, he's going to be on this side of this bridge because he's not going to get under otherwise, but it's a good sized yacht. It's just not here. Although it's a possibility they may have sold, because I think the house was up for sale, I don't remember. But it's one of those, when you come across that bridge, you look to the left, look down this canal and see if you see the big yacht that this guy has. And compared to the other coast, it's not that big, but for over here it is. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 40 feet or so, maybe 50, I couldn't really tell you, but it's normally parked right here on this right, but it's not here today. Stokes Marine is one of the dock builders that you see here on the right. They just put a new seawall in right there. Somebody may get ready to start to build a house on it, but Stokes Marine is one of the dock builders down here. There are some others as well, but there is one of them. So we're going to go under the bridge again. The cabin cruiser coming up on the right hand side is obviously parked there, because again, if you look at it, it's not going to go underneath that bridge. It won't go through the tunnel, and it's probably even too wide. So again, for a cruiser that size and height, he needs to be behind the bridge. He's a 40-footer. So the other one I was telling about is probably maybe 60 feet, because it's quite a bit bigger than that. Somebody else coming through.